A dear friend of mine carries a cup with a sticker on it that reads, "Hard does not equal bad." Now, she knows hard. In the last 2 years alone, she has divorced uh, her husband, a man who caused a scandal and forced her to take her kids into protective hiding. And her story has caused me to consider how I view my own hardships, and I'd like to share one of those stories with you. During a time of financial difficulty, my wife and I decided that she would start looking for a job after years of homeschooling our kids. Her background lends itself towards higher paying jobs, and the plan was for us to switch roles. She would work outside the home, and I would stay home and homeschool the kids. Not long after that decision, a man in church approached my wife about a job opportunity. We prayed briefly. We felt confident that God was answering our prayer. So she was all set to begin work when a scandal occurred in the company, and they pulled back and said that they were going to delegate the job in-house instead. This lasted for a couple of months before they realized that what they were doing was not possible and that they needed her, and so they hired her. She got the job and she started. And it didn't take long for us to realize what a great choice this was for our family. We were thriving in youth ministry. My wife loved her job, and I was finding myself able to love and lead my family more than I had ever been able to before. This prompted us to ask each other the question, why didn't we do this sooner? Unfortunately, this did not last long. One Sunday, a parent of one of our students pulled me aside after church and accused me of being lazy, idle, and passive, neglecting my God given duty as a man and a husband to provide for my family financially. I attempted to explain that our change in roles had led to more opportunity to lead my family, but these explanations were not received well. We attempted to reconcile our differences, but to no avail, and eventually he threatened to pull his kids from the youth ministry and possibly leave the church if the elders did not side with him on this issue. As a way of avoiding further conflict, our elders decided for us that I needed to step down. They invited my wife to stay, but she viewed our work together as a partnership and was unwilling to do so. This betrayal of confidence and trust led to a season of deep lament and spiritual crisis for my wife. To compound the hurt, the friends she had come to lean on through the years downplayed the situation and tried to convince her to just move on. After a very long year of trying to reconcile with friends and elders, we made the hard choice to leave the church that we loved. We felt as though we had been silently excommunicated. We were miserable. We were lonely. We spent several months visiting churches in town. Many of the churches were nice, but we found one in particular that felt like home, and we made friends quickly and began sharing the tragic parts of our story. We were heard, understood, and comforted. My wife began to grow stronger again as we were bolstered by a supportive community. However, I began to wrestle with fear of being betrayed again, struggling to really trust people. So after church service, I would go to the car and sit and cry, waiting for God to convince me that it was okay to trust people. Well, one Sunday on my way out of church, my son's Sunday school teacher, who is an elder in the church, pulled me aside and told me a story about my son. He was sharing in Sunday school how he missed his friends at his old church. And when they asked him why he had to leave his old church, he said, because people were telling lies about my dad. I was mortified by the fact that my 8-year-old son had exposed my pain. And this elder saw my fear, and he smiled, and he said, "It's okay. You're safe here. We're so glad that you guys are here with us." Since that time, I have not gone back to my car after the church service. We've gotten involved in youth ministry again, along with several other ministries in the church. My wife has made her way out of her pain, and I began learning to trust people. Our friends support us with so much love and patience as we work through our hurt. Things feel good again, and recently we've been asking each other, why didn't we do this sooner? We've learned so much through this difficult situation, but for me, the story started before all of that. It started with that dear friend and the sticker on her cup. You see, that one man who offered my wife a job, that was my friend's husband, the one who caused the scandal. This one man's action, both the good initial job offer and then the bad scandal later, led to my wife getting the job, which led to the betrayal, which led to the crisis, which led to the new church community and deeper faith. Betrayal is devastating, but we know that God orchestrates these things for our good. Much in the same way, another betrayal of a close friend led to one of the greatest reconciliations, the greatest reconciliation mankind has ever known. We know that oftentimes the blessings lie on the other side of the hard situation. I have learned this important truth. Hard does not equal bad. It just means you're on the path to something better than you could have imagined. Thank you.